The UnPodcast is brought to you by Emma. Get more from your email marketing.
In a world where QR codes kill kittens and customer service is an oxymoron, one podcast has set out to make things right. This is the UnPodcast with your hosts, Scott Stratten and Allison Kramer.
Hey there.
Are you whispering?
What's up?
Why are we whispering?
Because podcasting is an intimate medium.
But you're making it weird.
Am I?
I don't think that's what they mean. That they mean intimate in that, like it's the person you're right in their ears and they're
I'm right in their
spending
ears.
time with them. I don't think
I'm
you're
right up in those ears right
making
now.
it so weird.
Am I?
Yeah.
I think a few of our listeners are enjoying this right now.
Well, of course, but for most of our listeners, you're making it weird.
How does this feel in your ears right now?
You're making it weird for me. Stop.
Welcome to the show. We're glad to have you as long as you're glad to have us. On the show today, we have a little thing about mamas and then women's bathrooms. And then the 10 concert meme that went well, but maybe it shouldn't have. One of our newest favorite museum of all time. And then a little bit about Chuck E. Cheese, the gambling mecca for children.
So obviously there's a strong thread, a strong theme to the episode tonight.
There is very, very congruent. All that and nothing more brought to you by our fine friends at Emma. Go to myemma.com/UnPodcast for tips and tricks and everything you need to know for everything for your email marketing, including now, by the way, they've launched landing pages, the page in which you land on.
They also recently won an award in Nashville. Did you see that as one of the top employers in Nashville?
They did.
Yeah.
And we were in Nashville recently.
We were.
Yeah. Without the crew.
Because we're bad people.
Yeah. We didn't bring the crew. And I'm going to be honest with you. I had more fun.
Lies.
I had more fun without them.
He didn't have more fun without you guys.
Didn't have to babysit. Because Adam gets a couple of
Not
whiskeys in him in Nashville. And then it's just...
It's not true at all.
How do they let you back into the country, man?
Babysit.
Quiet guy, kind guy. One of the nicest guys we know. Couple whiskeys.
Jekyll
He's
and
squaring
Hyde.
up like a sailor, beating up people on the street.
Not
Right.
true.
Yeah. Oh, that's well, and congratulations to the folks in Nashville. The Predators just went on to the Stanley Cup Finals. Hockey Town, USA. Nashville, congratulations. Of course, when you hear this episode, it might, almost be over, but that's pretty awesome.
It is.
They're
pretty
good people.
awesome.
And it's booming. The thing about Nashville is it's gone bananas. I've spoken in Nashville at conferences. Like before, my main cities are Vegas, Phoenix, and Orlando, pretty much. Is like because that's the places that have the facilities to handle conferences. And in the past 3 months, I've spoken in Nashville 3 times. I've spoken in Nashville more than Phoenix. And it's booming. Once the convention center got built and then they started building more hotels.
So much building, so many new
the
hotels.
Infrastructure now can handle it.
Yeah.
And Nashville's turning into good for us, too. It's like, shorter flight and one
We
time
like
zone
it there.
over. And we love it. It's just a great vibe to the place. We went to Peg Leg Porker again and
We did.
hung out and had dinner for
I
12.
met Mrs. Pegleg.
Yeah.
And chatted with her. And yeah. It was cool.
Very cool. So let's have a little fun here because recently it was Mama's Day.
It was. Yeah. It was Mother's Day. And this article, so this is fascinating to me because I personally have never re-gifted any Mother's Day gifts. I just want to be very clear with you. I have not done this. But it says here that from the UK, the data seems to be this is funny. The average time adults spend picking out Mother's Day presents has risen to a whopping 3.5 seconds. The effort's extraordinary.
Right.
And it says that 48% of moms admit to deep sixing their presents, 15% to re-gifting them, 12% to returning them, 10% to donating them, and 7% to selling them.
Wow.
And a last 4% simply threw them out.
When I was 13, I think, I somehow was putting something in the garbage in the garage. So I opened up the garbage bag, and what I realized, what I was losing, what I was throwing away was my heart. Because in the bag was a kitchen tray, a serving tray that I had made in shop class for my mom. And the handles had Love Mom.
And she threw it out.
And it had broken.
Yeah.
And she just chucked it. I made like 3 things in shop class, 2 of which were a bowl, right, that we had to make a whole year.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and that was...
I have everything they've ever given me. I have every craft from school that's come home. I have every card. I have a beautiful card from Ben that says, my teacher made me, I love you, and my teacher made me make this card. So it's like he loves me. I know he loves me. There's no doubt about the love. But he had to make the card in school. They made him make it. And so he wrote inside, my teacher made me write this.
Do you have everything
Which
I've
is
given you?
Adorable. Yeah, of course I have everything that you've given me.
Do you remember what I gave you this year?
Yes, you did. You gave me a Forever Rose.
A Forever Rose. A rose that lasts a year.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like they dry it or something. I'm not sure of the
Freeze it
scientific process. And the stem is gold, and it's in this beautiful box, and it's gorgeous.
Thank
so yeah,
you.
I got a Forever Rose. And I got chocolate.
Now available on
and candy.
Craigslist, by the way.
No, I would
Half
never
price.
sell the Forever Rose.
How do you re-gift a Mother's Day gift? Does that mean they give it to their mom?
I don't know. Maybe I should be checking with my mom and see if she has the gifts that I've given her.
Have you regifted anything?
No, but that's not really my thing. The only thing that comes into our house that might get passed along is like sometime when we moved into the house, it happened like housewarming gifts or
wine.
When you have
Stuff
people
too,
over
yeah.
and people bring wine or food, like big baskets, like gift baskets, I usually will take those apart and then I keep all the stuff inside of them. And then when we have people over, because it tends to be the kind of food like that you don't eat on a regular basis, like special jams or cookie, like some kind of fancy chocolates or cookies. And so I keep that and the wine definitely because we don't really drink. And so I'll like save the wine and then people come over, then I'll give it. But does that count as regifting?
Apricot and hummus dip.
But does that count as regifting? I don't think so.
No, well, we've given the wine for other people's housewarmings. Like we got it for our housewarming.
Yeah,
and then
we have done
so that is regifting, and for that we apologize.
But I don't think I've ever gotten anything and passed it along to another
What
person.
what is the fruitcake of now? Because
That
fruitcake
keeps getting passed
was the
along?
famous thing where you'd give the fruitcake and then you'd give it to somebody else. Because I believe nobody has ever in history eaten a piece of fruitcake.
I'm concerned the answer might be like one of our books. Like people are passing around our books, like between people.
On marketing. the new
fruitcake.
fruitcake. Right. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I think if someone gives you something, you should probably keep it. Or throw it out in a way that other people don't find
That
it.
they don't open it and then their life is ruined when they see it in the garbage bag. Yeah.
Aw, therapy.
Threw away my heart. It's okay. It led me to a life of crime.
Absolutely.
No, wait, that's Adam in Nashville. But undocumented. So I'm glad we touched on hockey because we're going to have a hockey article here. This is from Deadspin. The Oilers, who were having a great playoff run, are now done. And the last Canadian hope here is the Senators. By the time this airs, that series will be over as well. Oilers eliminate women's bathrooms to improve experience of male fans. Speaking of Mother's Day, by the way, it's entirely possible that there are simply not enough toilets at the Edmonton Oilers Arena to accommodate playoff-sized crowds. Bathroom lines are an unfortunate, although not outrageous, side effect of popular sporting events or really any large gathering of people downing beers. But the Oilers managed to go beyond simply inconveniencing their fans when they decided to convert 2 women's restrooms into men's restrooms for Game 3 of their Western Conference semifinal Sunday night. The Oilers claimed that a survey of season ticket holders showed that the attendance of playoff games skewed male, which led to a lot of male fans complaining about long bathroom lines, an issue that the Oilers initially tried to solve by adjusting the Q formation. Not sure how that changes how you pee. The team didn't provide any hard data to back the claim of an unequal gender split, and when they tried changing the bathrooms to better accommodate the men, women were left complaining about long lines. The Oilers, however, have decided that this specific fan experience is something they can live with. Global News spoke to the female general manager of Rogers Place, Susan Darrington, who defended the team's decision. Quote, "For playoffs, what we're seeing is we're getting predominantly men in here. The more exciting the hockey gets, I think the less guys are willing to give up their tickets. So we've adjusted our plans and we've flipped a restroom on our main and on our upper concourse to be more available for men. You'll never make everyone happy. I think we actually feel good about what we've done. The men are getting through faster. The women are seeing a little more of a delay."
All right, I have an honest question. Mm-hmm. We've been to many sporting events, concerts. Mm-hmm. Have you ever in your life seen a men's bathroom line that was longer than a women's bathroom line?
No.
Including sporting events.
Right, no.
Never in the history of time has the women's line been shorter than the men's line. They always have, there have been countless times I've been in line at the women's washroom and been like, why can't we just go use the men's one? Because the men's line is going super duper fast.
Right.
Because you guys
we
don't
even
wash
stop.
your hands. You're gross.
No, and we don't stop walking. We pee on the move.
Yeah. And so there's just it doesn't make any sense. Even if they had 3 times as many men at the game than women, the men's line would only then be on par with the women's line to the bathroom. It doesn't make any sense.
When we went to the Pink concert,
I
had the whole bathroom to myself.
Yeah, but I mean, even...
Awesome.
But even...
I peed in 3 different urinals.
Even the last time we were at the Jays game, like, my line going to the bathroom is always way longer than a men's line going to the bathroom. It doesn't make sense.
Why are you taking so long?
Sitting down takes an extra bit of time. Washing hands, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that would take
What do
some
you
time.
do?
Drying the hands.
You just go into the bathroom appropriately.
You just wipe them on your pants. It's clean. It's sanitary.
It doesn't make any sense. It sounds more like a PR stunt. Like someone was like, I know how we'll get a bit of attention, and they did it. It doesn't make sense.
The thing is, they didn't need attention because it was the Oilers going back to the playoffs. It was huge.
Yeah.
And,
I think it's weird.
New Kids on the Block, Backstreet Boys concert in Vegas. Whole washroom again to myself.
Ani?
Yeah, Ani DeFranco. Entire concert hall to myself. Amazing. It was so good.
Scott comes with me to a lot of concerts.
Yeah, it was one.
He's also great for pedicures.
Yeah, Madonna. Great.
Did you see the picture of the woman who recently got married and she didn't have any female friends? So all of her, like what would be her maid of honors were all guys and they posed for pictures. Yeah. Like we are married to each other, but that would totally have been me. Like Scott does all my girl stuff with me. Yeah. He's great like that.
What Allison's saying is she doesn't like women.
No, I love women.
I'm sorry. What I meant was she doesn't want to be around them. That was
my
mistake.
love women.
I paraphrased that. I'm sorry.
You know, I was telling a nice story about you.
But it's true. It's true. It's one of the best parts about going to these shows is
the empty bathroom.
Yeah, I get to see these shows too. And they're like, you went to a Britney Spears concert? You're like, damn right I did. It was awesome. Yeah.
I think the men's bathroom at the Britney Spears concert would be just as busy as the women's bathroom.
That's true.
There were a lot of men at the Britney Spears concert.
True, but a lot of them were washing their hands.
Imagine.
What's wrong with people? People, get in, get out. By the way, Chicago Cubs opening day last season, were doing renovations.
Yeah.
And they didn't get them done in time. Surprise, surprise. And there was like one bathroom. I swear, one bathroom in the entire stadium. People were peeing in cups in the hallway, right?
Yeah.
And leaving them on the ground. That's not a free road beer. That's not a free road beer. Relax. Oh, speaking of peeing in cups, go to myemma.com/unpodcast for tips and tricks on how to urinate properly.
Aye.
They will help you out.
They won't do anything pee related.
But they will help you with your landing pages, your email marketing, and everything under the sun.
They will.
Thank them for always supporting the show. And if you like us, thank them too. You can find them on all the social medias. They'll help you out. All right. So something that was going around Facebook, and when I say something like that, it sounds like there's like a virus, like a plague.
It is a plague.
It's going around. Like, your kid gets sick and it's like, oh, it's going around. Well, this is what was going around Facebook recently. That whole 10 concerts Facebook meme. You guys saw this, right? Yeah. Did you guys see when people post like I'm going to post 10 concerts and one is a lie?
And you're supposed to guess which one was a lie.
Wayne, did you see this? You're a big Facebook guy. Always on the book faces. You see that 10 concerts thing?
No. Yes, I did.
So
Sorry.
10, and pick one was the lie, and then people started posting what was their first concert.
Yeah.
Well, this article warns, the New York Times, by the way, we are wonderful, happy subscribers to. It says, recent popular meme on Facebook asks users to list concerts they have attended. It's all fun and games until someone's password security question gets hacked. A meme making the rounds of Facebook asks users to list 10 concerts, 9 they've attended and a fabricated one, and invites others to identify the fake one. But the post, 10 concerts I've been to, one is a lie, might also be an invitation to a mid-level threat to your online privacy and security experts. And security experts warn. It's a kind of frivolous distraction that makes up social media interactions, similar to other viral memes, such as the Ice Bucket Challenge. I'm not sure that's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Privacy experts caution it could reveal too much about a person's background and preferences and sound like a security question. Name the first concert you attended. So now I'm just waiting for the meme that your
first pets.
Your 10 pets' first names, 9 are a lie, 1's real.
Your favorite teacher.
Your mom's maiden names, yeah.
Street you lived on.
Yeah. So part of me is like, it's paranoia.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
And the other part of it is just, it's just a meme and people had fun with it. But also, it is true. You're giving away answers. But it also depends on your privacy settings. Like if you have a person it's friends only and one of those friends is going to hack your account, it's like...
You need new friends.
You need
Yeah.
friends on there. But you never thought about that.
But I do think people need to be careful. I don't think it's paranoia, if only because when anything you put out there could have consequences. And even if it's something silly like this, there could be consequences. And any education we can have before we hit send is important, I think. So.
Yeah. Well, we could have done the 10 concerts thing if I didn't spoil it and say I went to Madonna, Pink, Backstreet Boys, New Kids on the Block, Ani, The Wiggles.
I've never been to the Wiggles.
Neither have I. You guessed it. Hey, ba-da-da. And then we'll add the other 5 concerts: Metallica, Pantera.
He's a complicated person.
Megadeth, Corrosion of Conformity, Exodus, and Pink. I'm an enigma.
You are.
I just like good shows.
I think I've so this article. I think I found where we should go for our next big trip. All right. I think we should go to Sweden.
Okay.
Are you okay with that? So the reason that I think we should go to Sweden is because of this article from the New York Times as well. And it says a museum can be a showcase for just about anything, it seems. The Museum of Ice Cream will take you through a fantasy world of sprinkles and gooey chocolate topping. Visitors to the Museum of Sex in New York City meander through the artifacts of erotic life and history. Do you want to unburden yourself?
Artifacts, more like hardifacts.
Do you want to unburden yourself of the pain of a broken heart? You can. The Museum of Broken Relationships suggests by visiting its curated collections in Los Angeles and also in Croatia, mementos donated anonymously by people who share similar feelings of love gone bad. And I actually saw that on Chelsea Handler's talk show. They went there. It's a little creepy. So it says, now, if anyone is interested in why some gadgets have ended up in the garbage heap of product history, Dr. Samuel West, an organizational psychologist, says he hopes to show them to you at the Museum of Failure. So the Museum of Failure is going to open in Helsingborg, Sweden, and it's a curation of over 60 products that have failed because of, they're saying basically in like related to innovations. So all these innovations that have failed. And I think this museum would be like our happy place. Like I think you and I would walk
from there. Yeah.
We would walk through the museum just like we have a picture, if you're watching, of our favorite pens for women, the Bic for Her, which we've trashed on many occasions. And there were some other ones, like I think is it Google Glass?
Coke Black, I think is in there too.
I don't even know what Coke Black is.
Sounds mildly racist.
It does.
Yeah.
There's Segway, it says.
Yep.
Segway a failure?
Oh, yeah, big flop.
Really?
Giant flop, yeah.
Don't people use Segway?
And the whole thing about failure isn't about do people use it. It's just what the expectations were.
Oh, based on how successful it was. So they thought it was going to like change the world.
Segway is very rarely used. I think it's only tour groups and fat security guards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only people use
I love the Google Glasses in there.
Oh, it's like we should be here.
It's fantastic.
This one here too. It's a Harley Davidson cologne.
Yeah. Big failure, apparently. I guess people don't want to smell like their motorcycle. Do you think that's what it smells like? Grease? Like a grease monkey? But but that's interesting to me because like Harley Davidson is a big brand, very recognizable.
Yeah.
And so the cologne didn't succeed. But like
I think that's
colognes.
part of it. Whereas because they were a big brand, it should have succeeded.
Yeah.
That's part of it, right? Like Bic, Coke.
Yeah.
Segway had a big amount of money behind it. Harley Davidson. So the part of the museum is not like, because you can have failed inventions, right? I think
these
there's
are
a museum
all from big brands,
right,
basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's just like you could have a million things of a failed invention, and that would be fantastic, by the way, right? The head scratcher TM, from Modern Family and those type of things. Like you could have a bunch of those, but this is where you're like, wow, like companies that should have known better.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think the hook of this whole museum is.
The Museum of Broken Brand Relationships.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
We should donate to it. Like we should be a curator.
You think so? What would we give them? We've never failed in anything.
No. I mean, like it's so up our alley. We should support it with money.
Oh, like the unmarketing Museum of Failure.
We're like it's the hallway of Like we get one of the wings.
Sponsorship.
One of the wings, and then we can threaten companies with it. If they don't hire me to speak, we'll put them in it. Right.
One of the things it made me think of. So we're just about finished, right down to the line, on branding, which is due into Wiley, our publisher, on June 1st. So
soon.
We're recording this a couple weeks before that, 10
Available
days.
for pre-order now on Amazon.
Yeah. And so it's we're just finishing everything up. A recent edition was a quote that we took from Jeff Bezos. Am I saying that right? I don't know how to say his name. From Amazon fame, obviously. And the reason that I'm going to read it to you because it's related to our Museum of Failure. I wonder if the Fire Phone is in the Museum of Failure.
Yeah.
So it says, one of the less than successful products to come out of Amazon was its Fire Phone. And when asked about the product and other products out of Amazon that had failed, Mr. Bezos' response was pretty legendary. If you think that's a big failure, we're working on much bigger failures right now. And I'm not kidding. And some of them are going to make the Fire Phone look like a tiny little blimp. He went on to say the size of your mistakes needs to grow along with the company. If it doesn't, you're not going to be inventing on a scale that can actually move the needle. And so to do so, you need to make big, noticeable mistakes. What do you think about that?
Well, it's great. It's amazing. And also, when you're in one of the biggest companies in the world, too, you can afford to fail. Most companies could not absorb a failure like the Fire Phone.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love that part of Amazon's culture, and I find that most companies, like that term innovation, right, it's a very popular term. It's a very sometimes overused term. The problem is what mostly kills innovation is people. Okay, because it's not a lack of ideas. It's not a lack of want to change in companies that people come up with these ideas. It's the creation of the culture that's created that makes you not want to share it.
Yeah, based on risk, right? Innovation's really about risk.
Risk to the company and revenue-wise, but also risk to your job.
Yeah, and to the way you feel people perceive you, and
100%
judgment, opening yourself up to criticism from people. And what I love about what he said was that, even as this incredibly recognizable brand, I mean, especially in the world of innovation, right? Like, it's hard to talk about innovation without talking about Amazon, is that the willingness to take chances and risk on this huge scale, what he's saying is that it is relative. So yes, it's not really easier for him to take risks. If they were smaller risks, it would be easier, but he's saying it's relative, right? So if you're a small company, you're taking smaller risks.
Right.
That's the same as a huge company taking huge risks, like a phone.
But we're taught in a lot of companies, and speaking of somebody who hasn't had a real job in 15 years, but we're taught in companies to do enough to not get noticed.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Where you just like, it's status quo. Your job is not to do enough to get fired. And when you come up with an idea and you're not the top, a lot of times these self-preservation instincts kick in to people above you and saying, well, I can't share that idea because I didn't come up with it.
Yeah.
It makes that person look smarter, right? And then we become defensive of ideas and change. And we're already resisting change in an era of constant change externally. The only thing we can control is internal change, and we will fight tooth and nail to kill it because we take it personally, right? Like if I wanted to innovate this show,
I wouldn't let you.
Right? If I want
I crush your ideas every day.
I want to go topless on this show, right? It's boom. Instead of looking at the opportunities, you have shot it down.
Yeah, 100%.
Due to your concerns about further advancement in the company. Right?
That is not why I want you to keep your shirt on.
Well, we'll have to investigate this later because that's what I think the reason is. But
entrepreneurs as well, though, too, right? Like, it just any kind of change risk is inherent in it, and what you see is that people only move past that when the reward is greater than the risk, and that's what can happen in like you're talking about inside a company, is that they see the reward as not being as important as the risk because they don't want to lose their job or have their reputation ruined, obviously. Right. So I do think partially him as the head of the company, that risk to him can be different from an employee, right? Like if he fails, he loses money and his reputation, but he doesn't have like a boss who's going to be like,
no. Right. But I think we saw it too with jobs and when people changing and fundamentally changing things. It takes a big jump and a big leap of faith, and they're not always guaranteed to work. But also why a lot of innovation comes from individuals outside of companies.
Yeah, more freedom for sure.
And there's nobody telling them you can't.
Yeah,
we won't. And a lot of people like that Museum of Failure shows, probably shouldn't have. But that's where things come out of. And a lot of these ideas, and a lot of these issues come out where they tried 100 times and this was 101st.
Yeah, that's what you don't see as well. I would really like to go to this museum, and if anyone is listening who lives there, we'll come see you.
Yeah, for all of our Swedish listeners.
Oh, some of the museum is on tour, it says. Miami, Berlin, and Amsterdam.
That's a weird trio.
Yeah, it doesn't really get us any closer. I guess Miami is a little bit closer. Coca-Cola Black is a coffee-inspired drink, just in case you were wondering.
Oh, a little less racist than I thought. That's fine. All right. On to Chuck E. Cheese. This is from Ad Week.
I love this story.
It says, even in the wild world of restaurants, there are very few places like Chuck E. Cheese. Those caverns of mayhem where mobs of children come to play video games, crawl through sky tubes, and scarf down pizza amid the cacophony of beeping sounds, screaming toddlers, and the music from Chuck E. Cheese band powering through a set on stage. That's an epic opening paragraph.
It really is.
It's like somebody's doing an essay, and he's got an A. Every year, some 40 million kids pile into the restaurants to relish in the sensory overload. Sidebar, by the way, go listen to the How I Built This from NPR, interviewing the founder of Chuck E. Cheese.
And we have a whole chapter about Chuck E. Cheese in the new book.
Branding, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, so going on. So every year, some 40 million kids pile into restaurants to relish in the sensory overload, which for many other kids is exactly the trouble. If you're the parent of a child with autism spectrum disorder, a Chuck E. Cheese restaurant is the last place you'd ever want to go. Already sensitive to bright lights and noises, children on the spectrum would be greatly bothered by an average afternoon at Chuck's. That fact greatly bothered Amy Anderson, CEC's Senior Director for Advertising and Media. Quote, for a place whose slogan is where a kid can be a kid, we realized that a lot of kids couldn't be kids there. At least not until last month, when CEC Entertainment announced the national rollout of sensory-sensitive Sundays. By the way, CEC is Chuck E. Cheese. Held the first Sunday of each month. The events take place during a 2-hour window before the restaurants open to the general public. During that time, staffers dim the lights, kill the music, and unplug the famous animatronic stage show, that's right, no Chuck, to achieve an environment more suitable for children who face sensory challenges, according to the company. We want to get to the part where it actually opened.
Yeah, so it started with, you can find the woman's name. It started in a local Chuck E. Cheese where a woman who is an advocate for a autism group, if you can find her name, and she wanted to have a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese for, I believe, her nephew who's on the spectrum. And so she went into the local Chuck E. Cheese.
Amanda Moniz.
Yep. And you want to finish?
So credit goes to headquarters for greenlighting sensory-sensitive Sundays. Nationally, the idea originated at a single store. Earlier this year, Amanda Moniz, an outreach coordinator for the Center for Autism and Related Disorders, wandered into the Chuck E. Cheese's in Attleboro, Massachusetts with a request, would you be willing to open 2 hours early for my nephew who has autism? She says, we'll go to a local business and ask if they'd be open to offering a sensory-friendly time to kids who might be on the spectrum, relates Card's business development manager, Mika Miller, who explained that her outreach worker really does have a nephew on the spectrum. Surprisingly enough, the restaurant went for it, and the first Sunday generated an enormous amount of positive attention, so much so that the CEC head office in Irving, Texas, got wind of it. I found out through a newspaper write-up, and I reached out to the store and said, what's going on? This is great. Anderson's advocacy helped persuade CEC to test the autism events regionally in New England and at 54 stores. Then the brass gave the okay for the national rollout.
The things I love most about this story is I love how it started with like a grassroots need. Like I love that somebody went in and asked them and the store was open to doing it and they got so much great press out of it that they decided to keep doing it and that the head office noticed. But I also love that they didn't just roll out the program nationwide. They had the organization that Amanda represented come in and train all of their staff as to how to work with kids with autism. They didn't just like turn down the lights and leave it at that and think that that would be okay. They put like a lot of effort into making sure that it was done right. And the marketing director you were talking about said that how fantastic all the staff had reacted to it. Like the staff were really more passionate, loved getting the training, loved learning how to do it. The events have been popular. And I think it's just, I mean, it couldn't be more wonderful. Like it's such a great example for other companies looking to do something similar, that it's out there and partnering with the advocacy group to get the training, make sure that the experience is going to be as positive as possible. And I think it's just, I think good on them. I think it's fantastic.
Fantastic. Endears me to the brand even more. When you have a child with autism, speaking to parents that we know with children with autism, one of the things that comes out is they want to feel like a kid.
Yeah.
And when you don't include, or you can't include your child at especially a birthday party where people, friends in their class and everybody's going, and just inclusion, this is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Now it's time for a little made-up word.
Yeah.
Don't make any sense. Don't mean no offense. It brings laziness. What is all this craziness?
And if you have a made-up word yourself, please submit it to us any way possible, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you like to do. Go through the unmarketing.com website, and we choose your word on the show. you get your choice of any of our books, including the upcoming Unbranding book or UnPodcast coffee mug. It's up to you, by the way, to let us know. If we picked your word, you contact us. And we will send it to you instead of putting a snippy message on our Facebook page and saying we
made
haven't
up word for today is Boredsy.
Boredsy.
It's from Kent Bone.
Kent Bone, by the way, my former drummer in high school for my band Salty Lick.
Salty Lick.
Just a heads up there. Was it Salty Lick? No, it was a different band. But anyways, he was the drummer for the Pantera, the first song I ever played at high school.
Oh gosh, Boredsy. Anyone have a guess?
Bored and lazy.
So Wayne has bored and lazy.
You had a bored, lazy drummer.
Adam is opting out. He's still in a mood from not going to Nashville. Yep. Nothing? Bored.
Do you want to guess?
A hip word
Hip
for
word
bored.
for bored.
The answer.
All right, the answer is Boredsy, the process of being extremely busy but bored due to the monotony of the work itself.
Well done, Kent.
Yeah.
Who's now in
Misnomer.
When we were doing the laundry, we were Boredsy. Huh?
I like it. You're busy but bored. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not invigorating work.
No.
Right.
Good job, Kent.
Well done. Stumped it. Stumped them all.
All right. Well, moving right along, a question. Would you like a question, Mr. Stratten? Do you feel like you have all the answers right now? Are you ready for a question?
I'm a little boredsy, but
You're a little-
yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So this is from Warren Groom. It was from our Unmarketing Facebook page. I actually posted it today.
By the way, if you have a question of the week, also ask for that, and we can also send you a
Or
book
maybe
or a
yesterday
mug.
you posted it. I don't know.
And if we
Mr.
don't,
Groom.
it's up to you to contact us if we do use your question. If you don't, please don't put a passive
All right.
aggressive message
all
on
right.
the Facebook
all
page.
right. All right. Okay, Mr. Stratten, what are your thoughts on more from around the web? And you might also enjoy links, so external links on sites that say you might also enjoy, and you click it, it takes you off. And Mr. Groom is saying that like he finds that when he clicks on these, it's often leading to unrelated. So what do you think about them? Like, would we ever use them?
So originally that came from at the end of articles and blog posts where on marketing, we'd have something and now there's a plugin, but it used to be manual. And if you like this post, come read another post like that and come, read more of
Like
our content.
YouTube, right? Like that's what I picture YouTube.
Yeah. Suggested. Other suggestions, but it's other suggested articles. Now there's a big company. There's things like Outbrain is a giant ad company.
Okay.
And so they automatically produce all these things that come in at the bottom, and they're sponsored links. It's just paid per click. So when you click on that blog or CNN does it, right? So CNN, you click on that, and that takes you to that, leaving the site, and CNN gets paid for that click.
Okay.
And the articles now have gotten so ridiculous that they have nothing to do with the article you're reading for the most part. And it's even iffy if it matches the headline, which is clickbait. So you get all the things we don't like: clickbait plus non-contextual, content. So it doesn't fit. So if I'm reading something about a celebrity, then of course a celebrity link next. And most of these Outbrain things are celebrity type of things, right? You'll never believe what this celebrity blah 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 blah. CNN has
I saw one today that said like I could make lots of money in Oakville, live in Oakville, make money while you work from home, and it was like a supermodel kissing a little baby on the forehead.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
That's the job, by the way. You go around kissing babies.
And you have to be hot.
And they geolocation where you are, right? So apparently there's a lot of single girls in Oakville.
I didn't
by the
click
way.
on it.
All the time. Single girls waiting to meet me in Oakville all the time. And wherever city I am, they're following me. That's how it works. I don't have a problem with them. I think it could be done better. And obviously, what we always say too is disclosure. It needs to say, and Outbrain does this, sponsored links.
Okay.
But people don't usually see that.
But if you're doing your own site, like I don't know what context Warren wants to use them in, but when we do, I understand and actually appreciate it as a reader. If I'm reading a certain like back channel or something,
Sure.
and I'm reading and I read an article, a political article, and then it says you might also be interested in these. I think that's great. Like, why not? You have me.
But it has to be in right context.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a paid click. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And there's ways you can do it too. You can come together and a bunch of different bloggers can swap links.
Yeah.
Like that makes sense too as well. But when you're paid for it and they're not contextual, they don't work as well.
So just disclose.
Just disclose. Like I have to disclose right now. I have to go to the bathroom.
All right. Well, then we better go.
All right. Next week. Bye.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and visit theunpodcast.com. And remember, friends don't let friends use QR codes.